Lucio. Hope everything is going pretty good for you. And I keep looking off over chickens. I can get up there on the porch. And they like to leave their little presents, their little bombs, you know. That's the price you pay for free-ranging your chickens. Yeah. But I do want to say I'm sorry. I apologize. I owe y'all an apology. Okay, the simple thing is because me and my brother, Black Crow, we didn't get to do a part 3, or I should say part. Well, I did part 2. Anyway, yeah, we didn't get to do the part 3, the last of the Out of Time series that we were doing. And so I wanted to say I'm sorry, I apologize, but we still plan on it. It's just a lot of things come up. Things happen, you know. But I do want to talk to you just briefly. I want to talk to you about time. Not like as what we've been talking in the sense of Out of Time on the series, but thing is, a lot of times when we get older, you know, it's like things don't last. Things and I'm trying to find the right words, but like I said many times, I'm not a great orator, so you bear with me, please. Alright, and if you hear any noise, it's the dogs, they see the chickens, so, yeah. But as I was going to say, time, it makes everything seem shorter, you know, as in not enough hours in the day, right? You catching my drift? When we're trying to do things and it just seems like there's not enough time to do them in, you know, whatever that thing is that you're doing. Maybe it's a building project, you know, maybe it's some kind of a project like art or something that requires, you know, you sit down and do drawings and planning and thinking, right? So, yeah, it just seems like you just don't have enough time in a day to do everything anymore. Once you get, especially to around the age of 60 and over, that's generally when it happens. And the thing is, you know, yes, our body declines. But here recently, I just heard, you know, something about aging and something, and made me stop to think. Well, a lot of times, seniors, we tend to get to where, you know, our minds slow down. And a lot of people don't know it, but with some of us, not all of us, but sometimes it bothers us. Once it starts to hit us, we notice this. So we do different little things, whatever that thing is, right? To try to occupy our minds, to keep our minds busy. Some just fold up and quit. Some can't help it. You know, other things happen to the body, and the mind just won't work properly and finally shuts down. I mean, you see the instances of dementia or Alzheimer's, you know. So, yeah, all these things happen. Things happen. Now, for me, my body wants to shut down, so to speak. In other words, I can't do the things that I used to. My mind argues with my body and vice versa. And my body usually wins because it kicks my brain's tail from here to Timbuktu. But the thing is, I like to try to keep my mind busy. And I want to always do the things that I care about. Especially up here. Now, around here, it's going to take a while to finish everything up in here. So, you know, you'll see plastic and insulation and things like this, but I haven't got the, well, not planning on putting drywall in, but putting some split logs, get it, but you know, because this is a 12 by 32, 36 cabin, and so I gotta try to get things situated and everything, but I can't do it by myself. I have to have my brother's help. And see, we're both up in our years, and time ain't slowing down for us, you know. But we try to stay busy. But the thing is, you gotta keep your, especially your mind, busy. Even when your body wants to tell you, no, you can't do that. You can't do it. You're not a young pup no more. But, yeah, I said pup, alright? But the thing is, I like to keep my mind busy with things that I care about. And I'm always thinking. Someone said, uh-oh! Warhorse is thinking. Run. But seriously, you know, like for I love music, you know, and I love songs, you know, and things, and I like to try to have songs when I can't sing. You know, well, I can sing, but I just can't. I just don't sing like I used to. I used to could hit high notes and this and that, but over the years things happen and stuff. So your voice just don't cut it anymore. So with me, to give my voice a break, you know, I just do the writing and everything, and I enjoy that, you know, trying to write songs that I care about, but songs that will either encourage you to, or to make you laugh, or to reminisce of days when we were younger, or when we, often as we old-timers will make reference to as the good old days. Yeah, they were hard times back then. Even before I was born, I mean, they were hard times. But even though it was rough and hard, you take that time and compare it to now, what happened? What do you got? Think about it. It was better back then, as far as in general, that's like everyone, today is fast paced. Everything's fast, fast, fast. Hurry up, hurry up. See, now I'm one, if I'm talking and someone's snapping saying, hurry, hurry, hurry up, I'll shut up, all right, but I'll never speak. I'll shut up. I'll walk away. That's just the way I am. Because it's kind of like, why even try when you're not going to really get a word in edgewise, and you can't think when people saying, hurry up, spill it out. So when you get up in our years, you just can't snap it out like that. You want to, but you can't. That's the thing about age, right? And we look back in times when we feel regret for the things that we never got to finish doing, or things we ought to do. But what we got to try to remember is we need to stick with the now. Can't change the past. I can't, you can't, no one can. It's about now and tomorrow's. But I always like to say, if the Lord wills, because see, the Lord can have other plans for your life and things, that you don't, and it seems arrogant really if you think about it. Even the Bible talks about it. It seems arrogant when you say, I'm going to do this and do that next week, next year, or tomorrow or something, but always try to remember, to put the emphasis, if the Lord wills. Because anything can happen, right? It's true. But I like to keep songs and up, to help you reminisce, to think, to smile, and I also like to do videos like this from time to time, to get you to think. And if I forget something, would you be kind and remind me, please? Like in the comments. And I do look for the comments, Now, I might not get to reply back just willy-nilly, just real quick, lickety-split. Don't you just love the way I talk? But anyway, I just want you to know that I do care about y'all. And let me just say that you who are my age or older, don't waste your time on anger, okay? Don't allow anger to rule your life. Don't allow your time, your breath to be spent spewing anger. I'm gonna get even. Oh, y'all, but you sorry that you ever said anything, and all that you don't talk about me and or my family and stuff, blah blah blah. Well, does a person really stop to hear themselves? Most time not. But if you could go back and listen to yourself, maybe if you're recording and doing that, go back and listen to yourself. You're spending your time on nothing, really. You can't please people, and people are going to be people. Some bad people and Some is what we say, good people. But the thing is, you can't change people. Only He can, right? So, don't spin your wheels. Don't let them just... And don't be on a carousel, you know. Just going around and around doing the same thing. Be more constructive in your spiritual life, your everyday life. Don't waste your time. And remember this, you know, the Lord said to love your enemies. Is that an easy thing? No, it's not. It's not easy at all. Because, see, we are human beings, yes, and we, that nature wants to strike out when someone strikes at you. But let me just say to those who are Christians, or, you know, is that don't waste your breath in anger. Don't go around wanting to get even with someone, or, oh, how dare they? They have no right doing that. Well, understand this. The Lord forgave you for many things. He forgives us when we come to Him with an honest heart, being honest with ourselves and with Him, right? So He's not a human being. He's not somebody that you can just think you can manipulate and get him to do your bidding. And no, He's far above us. But He gives us the opportunity with His grace and love and mercy to come to Him. So He can forgive you if you forgive others. But beyond, you think that you're going to make it into heaven if you got anger and unforgiveness towards somebody? I'm sorry, it's not going to happen, Captain. It's just not going to work. Jesus is not a liar. All right? He's not a liar. He's not one that's going to, you know, pull the wool over your eyes. No. He tells us in His Word right off. Tells us right off how it is. Just, that's it. You know, it's like, you take it or you leave it. And nobody wants to talk about Jesus. Well, I'm talking about Him. You know, because, let me put it this way. If you're ashamed of Him, He's going to be ashamed of you. So, it's best that you learn to just be honest with yourself and with the Lord, and ask Him not only to forgive you, but to help you to forgive others. Because, see, unforgiveness is like a part of anger. And it will eat you up like you won't believe. You've seen cancer, how it eats and what it does to people on the physical body. But think of what it does, anger, what it does, because anger is a cancer. And it will eat you up inside, and you will rot. It's kind of almost like leprosy, a little bit of both, cancer and leprosy. So don't let it eat you up. All right, understand, we're not perfect. I'm not perfect, you're not perfect. And anyone who lets on like they are, they're a narcissist. They have problems. And you should pray for that person. Don't hate on them. You know, we have to forgive one another. no matter what it is. You know, because in the New Testament it talks about encouraging one another. And hating on somebody and bad-mouthing them and going behind their backs talking about them, I don't call that encouraging. That's very discouraging. And people use different excuses to hate on others, to badmouth others, to stab them in the back. Even in the churches they do this. Sometimes preachers, though, which is a shame, is they'll get up behind the pulpit and pull the hate on people. And they'll use the pulpit as a means, as an instrument to pull hate. The only thing you're supposed to hate is the enemy of your soul, and that's the devil. See, your fight is not against that man that or woman who sit there and was using you, and those who stole from you and talking about you behind your back. That's the devil. Your fight is not against flesh and blood. It's against spiritual forces in dark places. So you try to remember that. I know sometimes we forget, but you have to remember that, and we need to encourage one another to remember that. I ask that you encourage me to remember that. We encourage one another. Because, see, a time is coming when we will be judged. Even Christians are judged. Bad people, evil people, and Christians are judged. But, you know, I try to get away from the word Christian and put follower or disciple. That's what a disciple is, okay? A disciple is a follower. If you're a disciple of Christ, you're a follower of Christ. That is the way the Bible often makes references to those who are serving Christ, those who follow Him. At times you'll say disciples. Even after the resurrection of our Lord. Okay? And let me encourage you also in this one thing, and I'm going to shut up. Alright, it's this. And I said briefly, it seems like it's going on longer than brief. But the thing is, you have to remember, first of all, we're human beings. Alright, and there's this, what the Bible refers to as a sin nature. And there's times when you're not even aware, okay, that you're doing wrong, that you're even sinning. Okay? And that's where one has to understand that we need to be encouraging one another. And sometimes confronting doesn't mean, ooh, you know, no, it means more like to help that person face something that they are not aware of. To confront them is to not go behind their backs, but talk to them directly. And the way the Bible puts it is you go to them privately. Privately. Not public. Everyone gets up here and gets on YouTube or Facebook or Instagram or X or whatever it is. But they don't. They have a hard time facing certain facts, is that you don't confront people that way publicly. Now there's some things you can mention, you know, in a good way, like saying, dude, are you aware of this and this and that? And if they don't want to accept it, just go on. But I'm talking about you have to confront a person sometimes. Because if they going on and on in a loop, they're not seeing what they're doing. And sometimes they need to be confronted. But if you confront them and they don't want to listen, all right, according to the Bible, the right way is to then go get somebody to come with you, and maybe they can talk some sense into that person. But if that person won't listen to them, then you bring it before the church, before the congregation, in other words. And if that person won't listen to the congregation, then what does it say? All right, you consider them the same as a unbeliever. Okay? And you can dust your hands off, and it's all up. Hey, it's in the Lord, between that person and the Lord totally, or at that point. So. But I think you know what I'm saying or trying to say. So the thing is, remember this. Do things out of love, not bitterness and hate. Saying, I despise that person. Don't. Because remember this, because you're going to come to the Lord and ask the Lord to forgive you, but when you have that kind of bitterness towards somebody, you're not going to be forgiven. This is a hard fact that most people don't want to admit. So, anyway, time is of the essence when it comes to each individual. So what you need to do is to remember these things. Love one another. Don't do things out of hate, okay? Now, I didn't mean to take so long. I wanted to be brief, but, I don't talk very fast. And I want to say that I do care about y'all. I could go on and finish my thoughts, but I didn't want to leave things hanging about the Out of Time series, okay? I totally apologize. That's our fault there, because, again, things happen, but, I didn't... I didn't, like, my mind gets occupied with doing things, and sometimes I'll forget. So, yeah, I forgot to get on here to let y'all know that we're sorry and apologize. And, things happen, especially when you get up to our age. But if you like this video, and if you would, please hit a thumbs up and leave a comment, and and if you don't have a comment, at least put a thumbs up or a smiley face or something, in the comments there. And I ask that you remember me and my family. Forgive me. Remember us in your prayers. And let's remember to pray for one another. And if you have a prayer requests. You know, maybe you might not want to mention the details, but the thing is, the Lord knows the need, right? So just say, please pray for me and my family, or for me, or maybe just say, you know, I have a prayer request. Okay? Now the Lord knows what that need is, but we should be praying for one another. Alright. Now, we may all have disagreements on many things, but who's perfect? But we have to pray for one another. Never allow a disagreement to ruin your heart, your life. You know, you just still love on that person, care about them. I mean, when it's your own flesh and blood, you may have disagreements, but you still love them with all your heart. So, you remember this, okay? And again, I apologize for taking so long. I didn't mean to. And if on any songs, you know, touch your heart, that, you know, songs that I will post or anything, or have already posted, if it will, you know, and if it has touched your heart, hit that like. And on this video, if you like what's being said, hit the like. You know, and if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Alright, I may be an old man, but, you know, the old clock up here, the old ticker thing here up here, the old grinder ain't busted yet. And I said yet. But age, you can't stop it. So, but I want to do what I can, when I can, as I can, the Lord willing. So, be blessed in everything that you do. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, okay? I think I just said that. Go show you that the age thing does. Okay. A little humor. Okay, so you be blessed in everything that you do. Alright? You take care of yourselves. And may the Lord watch over you and keep you. And may He always be your light. Especially in this dark world. And remember, in the days to come, we're going to have to be relying more and more on prayer and encouraging and helping one another. Alright, so always have faith and trust in the Lord, okay? So I will catch you later, alligators. And be blessed. So until then, let me say, Wado. And aho, y'all.